All right, good morning, trade pros. Welcome to our morning market update for this beautiful Wednesday, January 15th of 2019. Today is crude oil inventory day, and it's going to be extremely exciting. There's a huge opportunity here within 1 hour of one day to make your full weekly income or more. There's a lot of volatility, and the type of volatility that's predictable and opportunistic, not just volatility that's nonsense. All right, we got a great morning market update today, a lot to talk about. Let's kick it off by reminding you that tomorrow at 6 a.m., the book Path to Profit is going to be released. I wrote this book about my own trading journey. And then also there's chapter end exercises to help you create yours, including chapter 10, which is literally a step-by-step plan for traders who are new or intermediate or anyone considering redoing their journey or actually drafting, creating a journey. Because a lot of times we know what we want, but we don't really have a plan for it. And that's what the book will help you do. All right, that's coming out on Thursday. If you want to get access to it, click the link in the description in one moment and get on the email list. We'll let you know as soon as it comes out. And it's coming out tomorrow. I just told Donna to add the YouTube link from yesterday to the description. Just give it a moment. She'll throw it on there. And that's coming out tomorrow. Super excited. That's a project I've worked on, something that's near and dear to my heart, and it's awesome. All right, pick it up. Within 24 hours, you'll have an opportunity to get it at almost 70% off. It'll be $5.76, the lowest price that my publishing deal allows me to sell it for. And on top of that, it's only going to be for 24 hours, and I'm going to mark it back up. So good chance to get it now from Amazon tomorrow at 6 a.m. You'll be good to go. All right. In other news, the phase one deal between China and the United States, President Xi and Donald Trump will have a signing deal and a ceremony at 11:30 in the morning today. So obviously there's going to be some volatility created on that, some discussion. I think that once it's signed in and it becomes a deal and no longer just a rumor, I actually think the markets will probably give back some of the gains. There's a saying in the industry, buy the rumor, sell the news. I think that's what could happen here. All right, China's Vice Premier Liu, he said that the phase one deal will benefit the U.S. and China, as well as the whole world. Following the signing, they'll work together to attain tangible results. All right, it's done on mutual respect and equality. They'll work together to create a win-win relationship. He doesn't think that waiting till after the election is a good idea for phase two. Donald Trump said he could push it off until after the election. And so there's a little bit of discussion there. Yesterday, there was a tweet, or yesterday was an update rather, that the U.S. is thinking of not lifting tariffs on China after the deal. But later on, it was said that they look to raise significantly their agricultural purchases in exchange for lowering the rate. So there's still a little bit of uncertainty there. And we're going to find out what happens at 11:30, what the exact deal is they sign, how they move forward. The market will want to know what's the next step. All right, what exactly did you guys sign on? And, what are some challenges you're facing? And when do you think this next deal could start and end, the next phase of it? All right, that's what they're looking for. Right now, markets are really sideways, a very tight range. It's about an 11-point overnight range from the high to the low, from the extremes. That's not a lot. It's a consolidation type price action. All right. Let's talk about bank earnings because we have a few more. We had yesterday Wells Fargo, Citigroup, and JP Morgan. And today we had Goldman Sachs first in the morning. They released fourth quarter earnings per share of $4.69 versus an expected amount of $5.54. So it's a miss on an earnings per share basis. But their revenue was $9.96 billion in a quarter, almost $10 billion versus $8.49 expected. All right, so clearly on a revenue basis, their top line, they've exceeded their sales, they've made more money, but it didn't transpire down to earnings per share. So there's a cost expenditure somewhere there. All right, investment banking revenue is $2.06 billion, higher than the 1.89. All right, fixed income, commodity, and currencies, 1.7 versus 1.6, so they beat there. Equity sales, they missed very slightly. All right, they're up. Goldman Sachs has a 5.76% weight factor on the entire Dow Jones. And right now, because of this miss, they're down about 1% pre-market. So it's if you're looking at trading today and the Dow Jones is weaker, look no further than Goldman Sachs and ask yourself, what is it doing? Because it has a big weight. 5.76% is a massive weight on the Dow, it's almost similar, but a little bit less than Boeing. All right. Next up, we had Bank of America Q4 2019 adjusted earnings per share was 74 cents versus 70 expected. That's a beat. All right, 22.3 billion revenue in line with a 22.36, slight miss. Their fixed income, commodities, and currency revenue, their FIC was plus 25%. All right, equities are down a little bit. Investment banking revenue, not really that impressive, but a slight beat. And that's where we're at. Net interest is down 3% quarter over quarter. So Bank of America really sort of neutral. All right, Goldman Sachs missed, so it's down pre-market. JP Morgan and Citigroup yesterday did okay, and Wells Fargo got slaughtered, like pretty bad off the open. So we've seen the bank earnings come out. They're somewhat positive, but they're mixed. And now we're looking for the rest of the earnings season. The stock market's closely watching other earnings as well. The expectations for this earnings season are really low. You have to know that. All right. In other news, yesterday, I found this to be fascinating. All right. I don't know if you guys heard about it. Barbara, one of our TradePro members, actually emailed me and said, hey, check out this news article. The Trump administration, Donald Trump, is planning to restrict the news media's ability to disseminate information before anyone else. So what happens is it's called a lockup. So let's say it's non-farm payrolls. Have you ever wondered how come non-farm payrolls just gets released and Bloomberg's got a full article with charts on it already? Right? Well, they get the data 30 to 60 minutes earlier. What happens is they arrive at a government facility building, check in and leave all their electronics in a locker. Then they go into a room where the walls are padded with material that cuts off Wi-Fi and other signals, and they have computers that they're able to type on. All right, they're provided computers, and they type out their articles and then get ready to submit it. And as soon as the report drops, the communications is back on, internet's back on, they can hit publish. All right, but they have the data 30 to 60 minutes earlier. What Donald Trump is trying to say here is limit the access to the media to have this information sooner. This is very important. I think it's kind of slides over a lot of people's heads like, oh, that's not really that much of a change. It's a huge change, because think about this. When the article comes out right away, all right, algorithms are able to scan. They have a lot of news algorithms that read, decipher sentiment, and are able to trade on it basically in real time. Without that information, all right, these algorithms have the same thing as you and I. They now have to hear the news, think about it, how will it sort of work out, and they have to read the market sentiment to make trades and not know it ahead of time based on a report. All right, so it actually is a positive for our industry. It'll give us more volatility. It'll give us an opportunity to make more money in those volatile markets, capture more of the volatility rather than the machines. I'm keeping an eye on this. This is a huge change in the industry, and it would change how information is distributed to the public and investors. So we're keeping tabs on this. The details aren't 100% certain how it's going to go down, what it's going to be, but markets are expecting some action to be taken sooner than later. This seems like something Donald Trump's willing to do or intent on doing very soon. So we're going to have to figure out how to take advantage of this. All right, I'm on top of it. Don't you worry. This morning, markets are down across the board in Asia, about 0.5%. In Europe at midday, markets are flat, slight weakness, and futures in the U.S. down 0.2%, 0.2%, really, very in line. It's more consolidating at all-time highs than anything. Very little movement. I think crude oil is going to be the market to be at today until 11:30. At 11:30, we have U.S.-China Phase 1 deal signing. I don't expect much to happen leading up to that. All right, so crude's going to be the market. 10:30, we have crude oil inventory report. Gold is up about 0.6%. It's pushing a little bit higher. Bitcoin's up 3% to high 8,000s. And this morning we had the Empire State Manufacturing and the PPI Producer Price Index. PPI missed slightly. All right, 10:30 we have crude oil. Top of the hour at 10 a.m. Atlanta Fed business expectations for inflation. 10:30, like we said, crude oil inventory. By the way, OPEC released their monthly report today. I still got to comb through that. And then 12 p.m. we have Fed's Kaplan, and 2 p.m. the Beige Books. Like I said, very busy morning market update, a lot of info. What you could take away from this as a summary is, all right, bank earnings aren't doing as great as expected, and look for the Dow Jones and how Goldman Sachs can affect it. And on top of that, 10:30 you have oil, and then 11:30 we have a really big event with President Xi and Donald Trump signing a deal and doing a press conference. All right, so those are your touch points for the day. It's going to be anything but a regular day. Expect you got to have access to a news source right now, especially today, to keep tabs on it. All right, let me just look at. Is it a soft copy? Srinivas, it's a book. It's a hardcover first. There is no stock pick for today. Eat whatever you like. I don't know what you like. It's like asking me to pick your dinner. I don't know. Lee D, 60 Minutes episode talking about how House and Senate members are exempt from insider trading. How you think they make millions? Kushner, Trump tax records. President Trump going to lock up news. Can you post that article? How do I order from India? I could post the article, but I think you have to pay for Bloomberg. I have a subscription. I don't know if you're going to be able to access it. And just go Bloomberg Media Lockup. You'll get it. It's yesterday. It's probably at the top of their reading list at the moment. What else was I going to say? There's something else that's happening. Also, this is interesting, but I don't know if you guys know this. The CFTC is looking into whether or not Donald Trump provided information to people in his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida days before the but when they took out the general in Iran. I think he gave, what they're saying is, the allegation is that he gave information early to a set group of people at his resort that this was going to happen. All right. And there's a bit of that's kind of going on in the background too. This could potentially be huge depending on what evidence they come up with. There's something that's happening. It's not going to impact today's market. All right. Lee and Pelosi is talking about impeachment at 10 a.m. Of course. How could I forget that? Thank you for the heads up. Are the trade computer-driven HFTs? News drives the markets, correct? Because there's new information that needs to be priced in. That's why news drives markets. The price at the moment is 32.81 on the ES. If news comes out, the price needs to adjust. It's like if you're buying a plot of land and you want to build on it and you're willing to pay $10 million for some commercial development, you find out it's polluted with sewage that's going to take 30 years to clean and the environmental agency of your country said you can't build on this land, then that land is suddenly worth less, ain't it? So it's going to have to adjust its price. It's one example. You guys take care. Have a great day. Love you all. See you tomorrow. We got to open up the trading room. Let's get this going. Take care. Good luck trading, guys. Ciao.